Hello, hello. Here's Aage again coming to you from Broadcast Team Alpha, and this is the Paranormal World Show. And we're coming to you from 44 different platforms around the world. And if you are watching on YouTube, that's the right place to be because the only place we monitor the chat room. And everywhere else, then we are just looking at it now and then, but we are there and you can watch it there too. Now, this time I'm going to also, yes, I almost forgot. One of the places that you need to visit is the Conscious Awakening Network. We are streaming live over there also. And there's some really interesting stuff because they have close to 50 different shows over there on all kinds of things that we need to know about. So go visit them at consciousawakeningnetwork.org. You're going to like it. This time, I want to talk to you a little bit about the true Tartaria and also about the pyramids everywhere. There's some really strange things you're going to hear. And I got some pictures that is really hard to explain. In fact, they can't with the present day technology. Because Tartaria, let's deal with that first. That is hardly anybody that has ever heard of it. Why? Because it was a huge empire a few hundred years ago, or back to many hundred years ago. Well, have the history been altered or whitewashed or covered up? Because Tartaria had amassed 2/3 of the known world 3, 4, 500 years ago. Why don't we know about it? Well, maybe because they had technologies that the handlers and the people that think they know or profit from it don't want us to know is available or was available at that time, like electricity. So yeah, there is a big cover-up. You really should look at this because it will widen your horizon and you will understand how powerful the handlers of the world today are. They can actually do these things. And I have a map, but I'll show you that in a moment. But why is it covered up? Well, the electricity is just one small thing of it. The way they built buildings, their structure of governance, and that is things that they don't want us to know about. I remember back in grade school, back in Europe, when I grew up, the teacher talked about Tartaria as a big empire, and he says it always was a mystery how it disappeared. And when it disappeared, it shows up today in about 40 different countries that came from that one empire. See, the thing also is that there is a remnants of it today. The last remnants is called Tatarstan. That is a Russian republic. And that is where the last records of Tartaria is held. So yeah, they have they're kind of a powerful little place. They have a lot of oil, and they create. They have agriculture, cattle, and they breed horses and things like that. But they also have manufacturing. So yes, they're quite a powerful little nation. There's about 4 million people living there right now, and it is the size of about Belgium in Europe. So it's quite sizable little country. And they have the history of Tartaria. So if you go into their records, which I did, you found some really interesting stuff. And I want to show you some pictures. Let me share screen. And I will do that. Hang on just a second, and I will have it up and running. Here we go. We are now on video and sound. And here is the map. In the right side here, we can see the blue area was Tartaria. This map dates back to 1754, and it shows Asia by, I believe he's a Frenchman, Jean Palerier. And it is called, back in 1750, they called it Grand Tartaria. And the red areas down below is China, which is today China. And then here another red one to the left is Persia, that's Persia. As you can see, it went from, if you go to the upper right-hand corner of the picture, let me do this a little different. Here we go. Up in the right-hand corner, there's the edge of Tartaria. I think it's about another 60 miles up. You have Alaska. All the way from that spot, which is today Russia, all the way across the whole known world, all the way to Turkey today, Turkey. And as you see, it covers the whole 2/3 of the known world at the time. But all of this disappeared. How could that be? Well, they were attacked on all fronts because the nations around there, they needed and wanted their technology. And of course, the Tartarians, they were ruthless in their conquest. So no wonder that they amassed so much land. There is writing to the fact that when they came into a new area to conquer it, they killed everybody, so there would be no opposition later. And then they moved their own people in. So Earth has been a rough place to live. And I want to give credit to the pictures I'm going to show. I want to give credit to iStockPhotos.com and also Tartarstan.ru. I got something from them too. And then extraterrestrialblog.net and Wikipedia. I got some pictures from there. Wikipedia.org, of course. So here you see that old picture. And I'm going to go back. And this map is almost 300 years old. This show, but a lot of people on YouTube places, they don't talk about this. They were huge. And as you can see, they never conquered what is today India. The India that back then was called Ind, but I think they pronounced an E at the end. And it was the Mongol Empire. India was the northern part of that was the Mongol Empire, because they found a way to work together, I guess, and they didn't become a target as much. So I suggest very highly that you also go to do your own research on YouTube and other places. You can find there is two YouTubes. One of them is 5 hour long, and the other one I think is slightly less. And it's called The Lost History of Flat Earth. I know, but it had really nothing to do with flat Earth. They talk about flat Earth a little bit at the end, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because it has a lot of the video footage of what the remnants are today, as well as pictures from 100 years ago or more of what was back then before they had it destroyed and built over it so nobody could know about it. Yes, that's what happened. So go have a look at that for yourself, and you are going to find some very interesting things. Now, I want to talk about pyramids. But I want to mention, first, I want to mention this is at iStockPhotos.com. And these are some of the buildings that is remnants. Some of it even exists today. This is from, I believe, in Bulgaria, but it is a Tartar building. Here is another palace that is in Tatarstan, Russia. Now, I think the chicken is probably a little more recent, but here you can see pictures of some of the things that they built back then and still remains today. They were phenomenal craftsmen and craftswomen, because the women worked almost as much as men on many of the things that they created. I'm scrolling here so you can get a look at it. This is also over in Russia. This is in Kazan in Russia, and is still there today. The picture was taken in 2021. So there we go. Go do your... Here is another place where you can go. In fact, you can email the Tatarstan government and ask them for information. There is a place to get a hold of them. This is the website for the remnants of the Tartarian Empire. They were left having just one area of land the size of Belgium over in Europe. And here is where the records are of everything that the Tartarian Empire have done. Yes, it is quite extensive, and you can get a hold of them. You can go, or better yet, if you are a traveling man or woman, go over there and visit. You will be treated like royalty. Okay, here I want to talk about pyramids. That's my favorite thing to talk about, or one of them, because the question is, we couldn't build it today. Who built the pyramids? There are different kinds of it, built at different times. But there are some similarities. Even within the different structures, there are similarities. And the pyramids are mostly built of stone. But there is one, this one in China. This whole pyramid is made from iron. One piece. It is one big piece of iron. And the Chinese don't want to talk about it. There's almost no government information on this pyramid, but it is way out in the sticks, so to speak. It's far away from where anybody live. And actually, this is just a rumor because I have not confirmed it, but you have to have government permission to go there for research or experimental purposes. So this whole big piece, you see the size of the man and the horse at the bottom? That give you an idea of the size of it. It is slightly smaller than the Cheops pyramid. So the question is, who built them? There has been done some research on this one, and they have found that there are open spaces within it. But otherwise, there is very little known about it. From what I have seen or heard, nobody has ever tried to make it into it. Well, it's made from iron, so it wouldn't be that easy. And this one is a one of a kind. I have not heard of any pyramid anywhere else being made of iron. So, yeah, here's the same picture. Okay. Now, there are pyramids everywhere. There's pyramids in Alaska, which we've never been told. They're in North America, South America, Bosnia. There is pyramids in Africa, of course, a lot of them there, about 200 altogether. But the thing is that the pyramids on Central and South America, they were there before the Maya, the Inca, and the Aztecs came. The pyramid was already there. Now, the history books don't tell you that, but the locals will tell you that. Same thing with the pyramids on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. They were also there when the Egyptians came. So what does that tell us? That means that if you look at the Sphinx, there is runoff mark from water on the Sphinx, and there weren't any water in Egypt that could create those trenches of runoff where you can see where the water has been running off of the Sphinx for 30,000 years. So yeah, Khufu did not make the Cheops pyramid. And we were told that the builders of the pyramids and the Egyptians and the Mayas and the Incas, they were simple people, but maybe not so simple. Let me tell you a little bit about Simple people. The Great Pyramid on the Giza Plateau is 481 feet tall. Got a 13-acre footprint. All four sides cover 13 acres. 13 acres, that's quite a bit. And then there is 2.5 or 2.5 million stones. It all weighs about 6 million, just shy of 6 million tons. And all that was transported from 600 miles away all the way to the Giza Plateau. Now, one of the stones that is sitting in the ceiling of the gallery weighs 75 tons. 75 tons in one stone, transported from 600 miles away, floated down the river from deeper into Africa down to the Giza Plateau. You really believe that? Then I got some swampland in western Nebraska I want to sell you. Because no, it didn't happen that way. You don't float 75 tons. The pyramid, the Grand Pyramid in Egypt is also aligned exactly to true north. The box in the king's chamber was the exact size of the Ark of the Covenant. Now, the Great Pyramid also sit on the longitude, the latitude of 29 degrees, 979 minutes, and 245 seconds northerly latitude. And that also just happens to be the speed of light, exactly the same numbers. Would that be of any importance why it was sitting right where it is on the Giza Plateau, knowing that it has the exact same numbers as the speed of light? Now, I don't know the answer to that, but think about it. The calendar year is also embedded in the structure of the pyramid, because the one side of the pyramid is 9,131 inches. That is 365.24 cubit. That just happened to be the same number as the days of the year. Think about that. Simple people, right? So now we have all of these synchronicities built into the pyramid. And at this point in time in this recording, I want to say it is not known and confirmed who built these pyramids. But when I was doing the research for one of my books, Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking and How to Access the Universal Consciousness, I found old writing stating that what today is called the Cheops Pyramid was built by the crocodile kings. What we know as a crocodile is a reptile that's just sliding around and living in the water, but There are statues many places around the world where you have a humanoid standing there with a crocodile head on it. They have big hands and claws. Same thing with the feet. They have big claws on them. Humanoids with crocodile head statues that is so old that nobody knows how old or where they come from. Oh, that's something to think about. Also, the distance to the sun is in height of the pyramid times 10 to the 9th power. The height of the pyramid times 10 to the 9th power give you the distance from Earth to the sun. Now, 10 to the 9th power is a very important number when it comes to mathematics. The height of the Menkaure pyramid on the Giza plateau is 216 feet. The pyramid of the sun in Mexico is 216 feet. Coincidence again? Sure. I got more swampland for sale. No, there is a connection here. Even though the two pyramids look different, and here we go. Here is that pyramid, the Menkaure pyramid in Egypt. It is smaller, a little bit smaller than the Cheops, but then you got the three small ones next to it. These are just basically tombs that somebody built for themselves. But here we go. And I can see the connection. I looked into the floating of the stones from 600 miles away a little bit. I ran some numbers on that, and it just doesn't come out. If you, the river flows about 2 miles an hour. It's pretty slow. That's 3 kilometers an hour. If you've, it took 600 miles away, 2 miles an hour. It will take 25 days to float one stone down the river. And there were 2.5 million stones. And one of them, different sizes, one of them was 75 tons. You just don't float that. I don't care how many logs you put under it, you don't float it. And that's why I'm saying that the Nile was not used to float the stone to build the pyramids. If you have a 75-ton stone floated down the river, then you got to get it off the flotation device, up an embankment, up to where the pyramid is being built, and lift it about 250, 300 feet into the air and stick it into the ceiling of the Grand Gallery. We don't have the technology today to do that. So I think this should give you something to think about. And there's more I could say about this, but I want to do another show on this sometime in the future where I get more into detail about the pyramids. And of course, if you like what you heard today, please subscribe. We're just shy of 9,000 here on YouTube, and we don't know what the other 40 some platforms are doing because we don't get the numbers, but we're out there everywhere. So look for Broadcast Team Alpha. And then until the next time, be good to each other.